Okay, we're on Algebra 1, Section 7.4, and we're going to start solving equations. So, standard form, here's a binomial, it's two terms, and notice that both terms have an x in it, so I'm going to factor an x out. The factored form would look like x times x plus 2. In other words, so if I divide this by x and this by x, what I have left in parentheses is x plus 2. And then a trinomial, you don't know about this yet because we haven't covered it, that would factor to those two binomials. So when we're solving a polynomial, I want to know if I were to graph this, I want to know where it crosses the x-axis. So in other words, when we solve, we want to know what happens when that's going to be, what x gives us a y value of 0. So let's look at this example that I had up here. So x squared plus 2x factors, you have to factor these before we can solve them. So I have two factors, x, and then the other factor is x plus 2. So if this times this equals 0, look at the zero product property. We'll call this factor A, and we'll call this factor B. So if this thing equals 0, then either A is 0 or B is. So we just set each factor equal to 0 and solve it. This one's already solved for us. So the other factor is x plus 2 is 0. Subtract 2 from both sides, and x equals -2. So this particular binomial, the solutions are x equals -2 and 0. If I were to graph this, that's where it's going to cross the x-axis. So this is a parabola, x squared plus 2x. So parabolas, not this particular one, doesn't look like this, but these are the solutions. Those are the points at which y equals 0. Let's look at that other one in the factored form. So this is factor A and this is factor B. So if I'm looking for the solution, remember solution, they're also called the zeros, they're also called the roots, and they all mean what is x when y is 0. So if I set this thing equal to 0, either this equals 0 or this does. So basically I have two equations. I'm going to solve them. In this case, x would be 3 because 3 minus 3 is 0. In this case, x would have to be -8 because -8 plus 8 is 0. So my answers are -8 and 3. That's it for 7.4.